What's up, people? It's Ronald Dominic. Today we're going to be testing a no-nonsense Forex algorithm, and we're just going to be back testing it on the GBP USD, and we'll see how many wins and losses we get. Don't judge me on this. I am new to Forex and trying to trade, but I watched the whole no-nonsense Forex videos and pretty much went through the whole course, got an algorithm together, and we're going to test it before we put some money into a real account. And I want to back test pretty much all 28 pairs, or as many as we can, before I fund my account. And then I just want to document all the live trades that I take, so that way you guys can see what I'm doing and y'all can learn from me. I can learn from you guys. If y'all got tips for me to help my algorithm be better, then please let me know. I'm open to suggestions. And yeah, I just want you guys to see the journey of somebody who's dabbling in the no-nonsense Forex and trying to get into the Forex trading market and see if we could just make a little bit of extra income. So with that being said, let's go into the charts. So we're here, Great Britain USD. I'll just give you a quick rundown of my algorithm. We got the baseline. Our first confirmation indicator are these arrows. So it kind of lets me know whether or not the trend is about to go up or down, to let us know whether to buy or sell. And that also coincides with this one. So every time this crosses the line, it'll put an arrow up there, depending on whether or not it goes up or down. We are gonna start here. This is our second indicator, which is the rune up and down. Very basic. I'm on MT5 and I haven't been able to find any good indicators yet. So I'm probably gonna evolve this as we go along, but we'll see how this goes so far. So first confirmation indicator is the Ellis-Fisher transform, which are these arrows, also this, and then we also got the rune, and then we also got the absolute strength histogram. So once that flips, it kind of lets us know whether or not it's going to be a buy or sell. So since the rune starts here and we got the full algorithm popped up, we'll start here. So if this was a confirmation right here, we go down, that's already a loss. I mean, it gave us a sell signal here. So if we would have taken that trade, that would have been a loss right off the bat. But let's see, this is where it flips right here, and it's also above our baseline. The rune crosses here. Also the absolute strength lets us know it's in the blue, so it gives us a buy signal. So if we don't get stopped out here, we would have hit a win there for sure. Let's see. The ATR says about here was 94 pips. So if we got in there, this goes to like 90, 80, was that 90? Yeah, so about 90 pips depending on where we got in. So I don't think we would have got stopped out there. So that would have been a win for sure. Small win, 200 pips. And it probably would have came back down to our break even point. Yeah, pretty sure it would have hit our break even, which sucks because then if we would have been able to keep riding it, well, technically the rune crosses here and gives us another buy signal here. So we could have gotten a continuation trade right here. Goes down 120. So maybe we might have gotten stopped out. I don't know. But if not, that would have been a nice little win right there. Ooh, 700 something pips. Dang. Okay, keep moving. Rune crosses, we get a sell signal here, but it's above the baseline, so we don't take that. It gives us a buy signal here, and the rune also agrees, so there's the absolute strength. So if we would have taken this trade here, we would have got, like, at that time the ATR is about 99 to 100 pips, so we would have won that for sure. And let's see, if we would have got in there, we would have got stopped out though. It would have hit our break-even stop loss, which sucks because then we could have made a little bit more. And then, you know, but if it went down, it probably would have told us to get out here, which now the trend is telling us to sell. The rune is also selling, but the absolute strength hasn't given us the confirmation signal till about here. So if we get in there, we would have been able to get a lot of this actually. Boom, boom. I don't know where we would have hit our trailing stop at, but this would have been nice right here. Nice. I'm still debating whether or not we let the rune also act as an exit indicator. As of now, my exit indicator is the same one as the Fishers, which are the arrows. So every time the arrow flips, then I think that's when we're gonna use as an indicator. So we'd probably get out around here somewhere, but that would have been a nice little win all the way from here. I don't know, it probably would have hit a trailing stop somewhere, but if not, if it did, and then we got this signal again, this could have been a continuation trade right here. We would have got in here, would have went back a little bit. I don't know if we would have got stopped out. Let's see, 105 pips right there. That's 130. We would have 1.5 times the ATR would have been 150. So I don't know. That's kind of tough. It was close. It was close. We might have been able to stay in the trade. If we did, we would have made another win right there. And then the exit indicator would have told us to get out here. So we would have at least made 1% according to the rules. And then now the trend flips here. And then this is where everything agrees, but we are kind of far from where it first told us that it was selling. So does this where the bridge too far rule comes in? Because that's 8 candles away. Because if we would have took that, we would have lost for sure. Yep, we definitely would have lost. And then we wouldn't have gotten there because the rune disagrees. And then we get a signal to sell here. And then the very next candle tells us to go. So there's the absolute strength. And it hits 175 pips. So we might have made a little win right there. Might have made a little win. Then it flips over the baseline. And our first indicator tells us to buy, but the rune disagrees. Which thankfully it did, because right after that it flips. And then we get in here. But I don't think we would have got in, because look at how low the rune is at that time. So I don't think we would have got in on that one. Which would have been nice, because we would have made some profit. And then if we would have waited for like the next entry, it would have been here, which it retraces about 113 pips and then goes back down 240 pips. So that's nice. I think we would have made a little bit off of that, and then we would have made at least 1%, and then it would have hit our break even. If not, we would have exited out around here, where it does tell us to flip. So now we're looking for uptrends. The baseline tells us to get in here. This might have been a buy. I don't know. We are 7 candles away. So I think we might have gotten in that, because the rune wasn't too far. It was only like 4 candles before it gave us the confirmation to buy. So if we did get in there, we would have retraced a little bit, and then, but we might have won. I think we could have won that if we didn't get stopped out. Yeah, even though we got 2 red candles. So far, the algorithm looks like it's doing pretty well. And then this happens right here. Ooh, we would have got in right here. Everything agrees, and that would have been an immediate loss right there. We would have got out probably here, because the trend tells us to get out. So that would have been a loss. We would have got stopped out for sure. And then it tells us to buy in here, which we most likely would have taken also. But this, maybe we got to set in some candle rules. Maybe if the candles are too big. That's a 129 pip candle right there. The ATR at that time was 104. Was that too big of a candle in one day for us to get in? And then that's when you ask yourself, do you wait one day for the next candle to retrace, so that way you could get in at a better price? Because if we would have got in there, we for sure would have lost. Yep, we would have got our stop loss hit. Yep, all the way up to there. And then it flips to give us sell signals, but we're not below the the baseline yet up until here. And then we also get full confirmation on everything, but look how far back it is before the rune. That's 12 candles before it crossed over, and on top of that, that's 16 candles from when it gave us the first flip of the trend. So, but if we would have taken it, that would have been a loss for sure. Boom, loss. This is where everything else would have told, well, we wouldn't have gotten in yet because this is where it would have told us to buy. Everything flips right there. That would have also been a loss. Small loss though, because by the time it got here, we would have gotten out because it flips. So, and then looking at it, everything went below the base line and then also gave us a cut. But you know, we probably, that would have been a full loss about, depending on what it is. But the exit indicator seems to be doing what it's doing, but the ATR at that point was 71. So 71 to here, yeah. Oh yeah, we easily would have lost that 140 pips. Yeah, we would have, that would have been a full loss. But then if we take that next trade or do the reverse trade, say even we wait the next day, because that's when the rune shows up, we would have made a decent amount. We would have hit a profit for sure. Got out here. You know what I mean? Or yeah, is it here? Or is, yeah, I forget which one the white candles are. I think it's going down. So yeah, we made it, we would have made 1% back plus some. And then it switches, so we get out, and then there's a continuation trade here. The rune tells us to get in about here. Everything else agrees. We would have had a little bit of a retracement, and then we probably would have hit our first take profit on this day, and then we would have broke even. We would have hit our break even stop loss, which sucks because then we would have missed all of this, which would have been huge right there. And there's no signal for us to get back in. It would have been nice if we got in here like the day before, but I don't think that would have happened. So we got to keep it real with each other. And then it flips. So now we're looking for buys as soon as it goes past the baseline. This we probably would have bought. Let's see. Got in here. How many candles? 7 days. So does the rune. So is that a bridge too far? If we would have took it, then boom, we would have lost. We for sure would have lost. Yep, because then it wouldn't have gone anywhere. We would have got stopped out here. So let's see. The rune also told us to get in about here. So from the first buy signal, maybe we have to really take into account the bridge too far. After 7 days, that we might be a little too late. Because if we would have got in here, that for sure would have been a win. But by the time our baseline told us to go, it's too late. Too late. So, all right. I don't know how many wins that is yet. I'll probably try to put a counter somewhere, so that way, you know, we might be able to keep track of this. But if not, let's keep it moving. I feel like we have won a little more than we've lost, but we have taken some losses. Now this is where we first get in, but look how big this candle is. 200 pips. Like, dang, does that make us feel like we might have gone a little too far? Do we wait for the candle retracement the next day? Because then look at this. If we would have got in here, we would have got a better price for sure. And then we would have made like 300 pips. And then we would have exited about here. I mean, but if we would have been able, well, if we would have been able to ride this out all the way up into here, damn, that's like almost 1,000 pips right there, 900 something. It would have for sure hit our stop loss, or yeah, our trailing stop before we get to the exit indicator right here. If not, we also could have, if we would have got stopped out before that, there's a continuation trade buy right here that would have gave us that also. So I don't know, so far this algorithm seems like it's doing pretty well. It might be doing pretty well. All right, now let's see. The trend flips to downwards, which we wouldn't have taken anyways because we're looking for buys only. And then the trend flips back to buys, but since the rune tells us not to, we're not getting into that trade, which saves us. That's why we have a second confirmation indicator. Tells us to sell. We don't get into any of this. Don't get into any of this until, let's see, now we're looking for sales, but look how far gone we are. Yeah, do we even take this? Because look how far, where it tells us that was 22 days ago when the trend flipped to selling, but the rune got in probably about here. And that's, if we would have got in about here, that's 8-9 candles. So I take it if the rune is past 7 candles, and also our first trend indicator tells us it's past 7-8 candles also, maybe we need to stay out of it, because it seems like that might be the move so far, to stay out of it, especially if it's past 7 days, which is cool. And then we wouldn't have got in until, ooh, that would have been tough, because we would have got in super late right here. We would have waited a whole day. We might have missed all of this, because that's a huge candle right there. But if we would have, that would have been a huge win. Look how big these candles moved. That would have been a nice one. That would have been a nice one. And then it retraces back up. We wouldn't have got in here because it's still below our baseline. This is a continuation trade right here. Maybe we would have got in. Might have. If we did, might have been a small win, a super small win, like just 1%. But if we would have took it, it would have been nice. I'll take the 1% win. And then it flips. Boom, right here. This looks like it would have been a good buy. Yup. We would have made 200 pips about there. So yeah, maybe we need a better exit indicator, because then if we get in there, we would have made the 1% for sure, and then we would just hit our break even. So we need to figure out how to double up on the profits right there. And then now we're looking for sales. This would have been a loss, I already could tell, because we would have got in this very next candle when the room tells us to go. And yep, that would have been a loss. We would have exited out here if we didn't already get our stop loss hit. But then we would have hit a buy. We would have hit a buy here. This would have been a nice little run. Ooh, look at that. Like all the way up to the max. It was like 930 pips right there. I don't know. I like this algorithm so far. It's very simple. Very simple. Nothing special about these indicators either, but so far it seems like we're winning more than we're losing. This would have been a loss if we got in here, but let's see how many candles this would have been. It would have been 9 candles. Same with the Arun. The Arun crossed over here. So yeah, that bridge too far rule might have to be in play on this one. Okay, so we get buy signal here, right? We would have bought in maybe here, if not maybe here, but this candle would have been, this would have been 7 days though. This would have been 7 days. 6 days. No, 6 days. Oh, so this could have been okay. If we did get in, we would have, I think we would have won after 2 days up here. We would have hit our first take profit, make a 1% gain. And then this comes in right here. This is a continuation trade. And then all of a sudden, boom. We probably would have got stopped right here though. But this would have been nice. At the peak of this wick, those 380, 85. That would have been nice. If we didn't get stopped out, we would have been able to ride this all the way. Whoop. Oh no, where are we at? I think here, right? Here, boom. If we would have got in here, if we didn't get stopped out by this little wick right there, that would have been a nice little run up. Ooh, definitely over 1,000 pips. But the ATR is kind of high, so it's like ATR is like 130. So yeah, that would have been a nice little run. And then we would have exited here if our trailing stop didn't get hit. And then we get another buy signal here. Well, we didn't get this confirmation yet, so we would have had to have waited until we got this. So we either would have gotten here, depending on when the actual indicator crosses the line, because depending on when, if it doesn't do it to the end of the day, then we might not even get the arrow, but most likely get in here. We probably, if this doesn't hit our stop loss, let's see, this arrow, the ATR is 90, so what's half that, 45, so about 135 pips. I think we might have been all right. I think it would have came really close to hitting our stop loss, but if it didn't, we would have made our take profit for sure, and then got out about here. So break even. And now we're here. This is where, boom, we would have taken this. This would have been a loss for sure. But if there's a continuation trade, we'll probably take it. Yeah, so let's see what the candle rule is on this. 115. The ATR at that point was 90. So do we wait? If we would have waited one day, the one candle rule, because it did go a whole 1x past the ATR at that point, and we waited for a 1 day retracement, we would have got in here. But if we would have gotten in here, we probably wouldn't have taken it, because now we're above the baseline. So I don't know. I don't think we would have taken that either. So would we have stayed out? But if we did get in, like say right before it went there, and we traded right before the candle closes, and it somehow was still under here, we took it, we would have made a little bit. But it's hard to say. We don't know. But that was that. That's the GBP USD with the no nonsense Forex algorithm. It looks like it did pretty well. There's a few losses there. No big losses, but for the most part, there was some pretty decent wins in there too, I think. So I don't know. Yeah, well, that's that. Let me know what you guys think about it. If you guys got tips on what you think I could do to tweak this to make it better, let me know. And if not, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.